Welcome back, everyone. Our final video in looking at the Lexis lesson plan is going to focus on the presentation stage. This is the main part of your lesson, as it's where you're going to teach the words. However, it should still be as student-centered as possible. So once again, we're going to start with the stage aim. This is very similar to the main aim of the lesson. To familiarize the students with the meaning, punctuation, and written form of 8 words related to movie genres. It's clear what you are going to be covering in this particular stage. In terms of timing, it shouldn't take you longer than 2 minutes per word. So this stage should not be longer than 18 minutes in total. For our materials, you should have flashcards for each word. You are definitely going to use the whiteboard and markers, and you need different colors for your markers. And you will probably need press stick as well to stick your flashcards on the board. Throughout the stage, your interaction pattern is going to be teacher to students to teacher. So you don't need to script it for every single stage or word, just at the top of each new page. Now we move on to the scripting of each actual word. There are 5 steps you need to follow. You need to elicit the word, model the pronunciation, drill the word, ask lexical CCQs, and finally present the written form. The order of these steps cannot be changed. So let's look at an example. Our first word is action. Remember, it's a common noun, so it's all written in lowercase. Your eliciting should be based on the picture. In the example lesson plan, you'll see the pictures that I've used in the board plan. So we're going to start. The teacher holds up the image. The eliciting is about guiding the students to notice specific things in the image. Eliciting is not holding up a picture and saying, "What is this?" because the students don't know where to focus. So I have a picture of men who are fighting and have guns. And I want to draw their attention to what they're holding. So I ask them, what are these men holding? Are they taking a walk in the woods or in the forest? Or are they fighting? In other words, get them to notice the emotion happening in the picture. And does it look like they're very busy, or does it look like they're very calm and not much is happening? Hopefully by this stage, the students might have already given me the word. If not, I need to bring back the image to the overall context, which is movies. So what do we call movies with all of these things in them? And hopefully they can give me the word action. If they can't give you the word, then prompt them by giving them the first sound, not the first letter. For example, it starts with an A. If they still struggle, ak, and hopefully they can then finish it. If by this stage they really can't give you the word, it's okay to tell them what the word is. For model, it should be no more than listen, model. Listen, action. You are guiding them to focus on your pronunciation, and you are saying the word once, perhaps twice. It's now their turn to drill the word. With every single word, you are going to drill it 3 times chorally, in other words, with the whole class, and with 3 individuals. To choose your individuals, listen for students who are either very quiet, who you can't hear, who are mispronouncing the word, or who are a very good example of the pronunciation. Students hearing a good example of pronunciation from their peers are also more motivated. So don't only listen for problems. All you need to script here is T drills pronunciation, chorally times 3, and with 3 individuals. You do not need to indicate who the individuals are, unless it is an anticipated problem. For example, Jack is very quiet. I don't often hear him in class, so I drilled him individually. This does not mean that you have to drill them until it is perfect. Drilling simply means Jack, and Jack says action. Unless there's a huge problem with the pronunciation, you would move on to the next person. So if the pronunciation is close enough and it's simply the accent, move on to the next person. If, however, Jack says action, which is the French pronunciation, you would need to drill him again. We now need to check that the students understand the concept of action. So we're going to ask lexical CCQs. 1 to 2 lexical CCQs is sufficient. For example, is there violence in an action film? Sometimes. And are action films always about war? No. Because the word is so similar to the French pronunciation and all of the students are French first language speakers, they should already understand the word because it's called a cognate. In other words, the word is the same in both languages or very similar. Right, the final thing we need to do is the written form. You write the word on the board and place the picture next to it. Now you need to ask the students, how many syllables are there in this word? Action. Once they've identified the syllables, which syllable is stressed? The first or the second? It is the first. You don't need to tell them what the difficult sound is, you just need to script it. So T underlines the stressed syllable and highlights the difficult sound. In this particular word, it is the sh in the word that is going to be difficult, which is that phoneme. So you're not highlighting the entire word and you're not directing them to the phonetics. You're simply using it as a guide to help them with pronunciation. Now, an anticipated problem here, in terms of the pronunciation, might be that instead of the sh sound, students might pronounce it as a TI. Sorry, an SI. Because of the French pronunciation. So in other words, they might say action instead of action. Drill the second sound. In other words, you're going to spend a little bit more time getting them to practice the shin, not sion. As you can see, there's quite a bit that is scripted for the written form. You have to look at how many syllables there are, which syllable is stressed, and then indicate the difficult sound. In the eliciting stage, you also need to ask quite a few guided questions. It is insufficient to write in your lesson plan, teacher elicits the word. How will you elicit the word? Because there's quite a bit that is written for each word, it is normal for the presentation stage of your lesson plan to run to 7 or 8 pages. Anything less than this is probably a good indicator that you haven't scripted enough for each word, and you should then go back and double check. You'll carry on like this until you have finished all 8 words. So the next word would then be animation. How can we elicit an animation? Model is simply saying the word. Drill, you are describing how you will drill it. And CCQs need to be very meaningful. Remember in the written form to ask syllables, stress, and highlight difficult sounds. If you focus on all of this, you'll be absolutely fine in this lesson. Good luck.